My name's Clara Scholl. I am a postdoctoral research fellow in Max Reisenhuber's Laboratory for Computational Cognitive Neuroscience here at Georgetown. I recently finished my PhD in Max Reisenhuber's lab, and the big picture questions that we're interested in this lab are understanding the neural bases of different sensory processing modalities. Specifically, what I'm looking at is vision. And I'm really interested in understanding how we assign meaning to physical stimuli. So it took me 6.5 years to finish my PhD, and a big part of that was that I chose to have a child 4 years into it. Another part of that is that it took me a while to get some of my projects working productively. And it was around years 4 or 5, it was incredibly challenging for me to stick with it. And I expected it to be challenging, but I was actually really surprised by how incredibly challenging it was, to the point where I very seriously considered dropping out and quitting. And really the reasons that I didn't quit were because my advisor and my partner were very encouraging and just told me to keep working through this, and that things would get easier, and things have gotten much easier now. I'm incredibly happy that I stuck with it, because I'm really enjoying my postdoc here and we have some really productive lines of research going. I can't say that I ever had any clear vision of what I wanted to do. My mother tells me that when I was in first grade, I told her I wanted to teach college. And this actually is somewhat similar to that, because the career path I'm on is potentially along the lines of teaching at a university, doing lots of research. So my experience as a student has been really varied. I was really lucky that I was always very good at school. And then my sophomore year of high school, I was put in the advanced calculus class. And up until that point, I had never had to work very hard. I could successfully complete exams just by listening to lectures and doing the homework. And when I was in that calculus class, that approach failed for me. In fact, the second semester I received an F in the class, which was really shocking for me. And it was really out of character for me. But that was when I learned that I really do have to learn how to work hard. And in retrospect, I think that learning how to work hard is much more important than being good at something from the get-go. When I was in high school, I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do in college and beyond college. And I chose to major in physics as an undergrad in college, largely out of not really knowing what I wanted to do and kind of whittling it down to being interested in physics, but I have to admit I wasn't super inspired by it. Then when I was in college, a class that was really transformative for me was computational neuroscience. And what I found really inspiring about that was the idea that you could use math to model biological phenomena. So I'm currently working on a project where we train people to do a visual object categorization task, and we're really interested in understanding how their neural responses change when the task is newly learned versus when the task has been really extensively practiced. So the methods that we use to study these questions are both empirical and theoretical. So in the lab, we use functional magnetic resonance imaging and also EEG, electroencephalography, to look at how populations of neurons in the brain are responding to different images. I really love how my job is very collaborative in nature, but it also requires a lot of independent work. And so I spend a lot of time by myself analyzing data, writing computer programs, setting up new protocols and new experiments. But then I'm dependent on a lot of other people, and I contribute to projects where a lot of other people depend on me. Even now as a postdoc, I don't have a super clear vision for what I'm going to do in the future. The upside is that I'm super optimistic that there are incredibly exciting projects in several fields that I could wind up working on. I'm really interested in government policy. I'm really interested in data analysis in business. And so I've learned over the years that the skills that I have can generalize to a lot of different areas. And I think something that's a really big asset of going into medical research is that you learn skills that can generalize to a lot more than just medical research questions. So I think that I will be leaving Max Reisenhuber's lab within a couple years as we wrap up some projects, just because that's the natural career progression. But that said, I mean, I really enjoy the research that we do here, so I'm not in a big hurry.